everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a beginner slash how I highlight and contour my face. I actually had someone request this video. Her name is Sylvia. She's a family friend, so thanks for requesting this video. This technique works for any type of face shape. I'll give you options if you have a longer face shape, shorter face shape, rounder, etc, etc. So this is how I've figured out how to contour and highlight my face over the years and what I like to do best. So I'm going to do my foundation off camera and then I'm gonna come right back over here and I'm gonna show you how I do it with concealer, powders, all that other stuff. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so I just finished my foundation. I'm wearing the Too Faced Born This Way foundation just to even out my complexion, and I spot concealed. So I would recommend a full coverage foundation. I just skipped through this part because you guys have seen me do it before and you also have your own preferences. So for highlighting and contouring, for the darkness here, I go in with Peach Light by Sephora. This is their Bright Future color corrector, and I just right into the very inner part of my under eye. This is unique to everybody, obviously, because not everyone gets the darkness down here. Some people get darkness out here, so I just color correct right into the inner portions. And I kind of let this sit for a little bit. If you let it dry, it lets you get a little more full coverage, really cover everything up. So while that's happening, I'm just gonna powder around my cheek area so that when we contour, everything blends seamlessly. So I'm gonna go in with my powder brush. I'm just gonna use my True Match powder. This provides a little bit of coverage, but it also really sets my makeup. I still have to blend out my concealer. You really want to have a bright under eye for this. I don't like going 2 or 3 shades too light. I like to have it look a little bright, but not so like, holy crap, that does not match her face kind of look. At this point, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Illumi-naughty concealing pen, and I'm going to go in with Maybelline Age Rewind. This is a little bit lighter than my under eye. And do you see, it looks like I have a lot, but I got in like the littlest bit of clicks and I kind of spread it around my face. And now I'm going to go back in and blend this out. When I do my concealing and I'm contouring, I know a lot of people like to do the whole blend it all the way out thing. You do the huge triangle. In theory, it's supposed to make your face look a little more sculpted and look not as wide. But the reason I don't do that, and I kind of try to keep it here, is it makes my face look a little bit longer. And if you have a round face, I would recommend that too. It makes your face look a little rounder, but don't bring it all the way down. I try to do like right here, as you saw. But this is just my concealer, and this is only a little bit lighter than my skin tone, so I'm gonna go in with like really illuminating pen right now, and you'll see what I mean. This is when we're really getting into skills, you know? So I'm gonna go down here and down. So this is as far as my little triangle goes for brightness, because I don't want to bring it down too low. I do want to make my face look a little longer, and then I'll sculpt this out to really give myself like a model look. But if I bring it too far and out, it'll make my face look flatter, which I don't want. Obviously, I'm contouring my face. And I would recommend color correcting. If this is for everyday contouring, then you don't need to color correct. You can just conceal and do the rest of your routine as normal. But if you're doing this for a night out, I would recommend color correcting in here, because that darkness really comes out when you're trying to highlight, so it looks better. I'm just gonna go in with my little highlighting pen down my forehead. I'm gonna do the littlest bit down my bridge right here, and then right around here and right on top my Cupid's bow. It doesn't really matter if this gets blown out a little, because you're just adding this in to create some dimension to your face, because you don't want to have just your under eyes be concealed, because if you do that, it's going to be like, whoa, why is her under eyes super dark? And the reason people contour and highlight is to make you look like the sun's really hitting you and like you really have those natural shadows. If you also don't have the similar areas being highlighted, then it's kind of like, so why isn't the rest of her face highlighted? Obviously this isn't gonna look natural, it's makeup, but you kind of want it to make sense so people don't look at you and think, whoa, she did her makeup really weird. And then I'm just gonna, because I like to contour my nose, I'm just gonna get this little eyeshadow brush and just tap it in so that it really looks like I have a little flatter nose. I like to go for a not really thinner nose, but more upturned nose look, and that's just my preference. The biggest part of highlighting and contouring is obviously the highlighting and bronzing and the contouring part. This really helps set your face up so that you can really go in for that contoured look. So I'm gonna be using the Too Faced Born This Way powder in translucent. I love this powder. It's really good. I don't like using it with a brush. I really like going in with a damp sponge and pressing it in because I feel like it gives me the most full coverage look. And I typically don't bake, but if I'm going for that full coverage contoured look, then I go like this. I'll go with baking for the day. And do you notice how for the powder, I actually do bring it all the way out? I do want to kind of like highlight this area, so when I put highlight, it doesn't look too dark, but I don't like bringing the concealer all the way out there. It's all about face illusion. And now I'm gonna set my chin, not too much, and then my forehead. Especially when you're a lighter complexion, you don't want to go too light and bright because you're gonna look like bright white. You're not gonna look like you have any dimension to your skin. I would really focus on the bronzer and the contouring doing that part. You don't need to stamp and put a ton of products on your face for it to look good and flawless. Fuller coverage doesn't mean put on a ton of products. You can do lighter layers to really make your face have that flawless look. So I've already had this baking on my face for a little while now. I'm going to get a really dense foundation brush like this. This is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and I kind of get a decent amount of powder on there. And the reason I do this is because I don't like to wipe away the bake action too much, because I feel like it'll remove some of the coverage and it will kind of take away some of the brightness. So I like to go in with a brightening shade, and I like to just kind of put that right on top, and it kind of blends away the excess powder that we don't need, but it really helps keep that area nice and bright. Okay, so after I've pressed in that powder to really help brighten up my face, now we're really getting into the bronzing and contouring part. So when I bronze and contour my face, I like to go in with bronzer first and then contour so I can really see where I need that dimension. Some people like to do it the other way around. For beginners, I would really recommend doing the bronzer, looking, okay, do I need more definition here, here, and then going in with that contour, because sometimes bronzing can kind of give you that illusion. So the product that I like to use best for bronzing, because I don't think you can go too overboard or it's really easy to blend out, is the Nars Laguna bronzer. This is a warm tone, but it's not too warm on the face where it looks like you just put on like an orange bronzer. It's a really nice tone. So I like to go in with a dual fiber brush like this because it doesn't dispense too much product, so I can really build it up. This is a Morphe M427, and I just go in, tap in any excess, and I kind of swirl it around. I don't go too low with it. I just try to bronze all the way up to the cheek. And when you bronze, don't bring it all the way in here, because it'll kind of give you like a Joker look, like your contour's going all the way out here. You want to stay from the outer edge of your eye all the way up to here. So right where your ear begins to the end of your eye, you just want to go back and forth. That difference already with a little bit of bronzer. I think that would be a universal rule for anybody, really. You don't want to bring it all the way in, and if you go too low, if you go down here, you'll kind of drop your face. You want to elevate your face. That's why I'm saying end of your eye to the top of your ear right here. And I like to bronze my face, but I really keep it at the edge of my hairline because I don't have too big of a forehead. If you have a bigger forehead, you would want to bring it a little lower, like probably down here, to give yourself the illusion of a smaller forehead, if that's something you want. But if you have a smaller forehead, I would recommend just keeping it all the way like up here. You don't want to bronze too much because then it'll make you look like you have a bronze helmet, especially if you have a lower forehead. Okay, so I also bronze like right here. Do you see where my jawline is? And I bronze right here, and if I feel like I need more definition, I'll go in with contour, and it really helps bring out your jawbone. And then I just bring it down the sides of my neck so that it doesn't look like the contour abruptly stops where my neck is. And with the excess bronzer actually that's on my brush, I kind of run it down the sides of my nose, and I bring it all the way up here. And then I will define it if I feel like I need to. But this way you don't go in with too much product. And now the contouring part. I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I wouldn't recommend this palette. You can find better contour shades. I just am too lazy to buy a new one, and I would rather spend my money on something else because I don't contour too often. I just personally don't like Kat Von D, who she is as a person and what she stands for, so I wouldn't recommend buying this palette. If you already have it though, this is perfect because you can just follow along with me. I'm actually gonna go in with this first shade. It is a little light, but the reason I'm going in with this one is because it's a little more cool toned. This one's a little warmer. You can see it in the pan. Cool tone is better for contouring because with warm tones, you know, you're giving yourself sunlight, bronze, like you were out in the sun. Contour mimics more of a shadow, so it needs to be a little cooler. You go in with a cooler toned contour to make it look like these are naturally your cheeks. And so for this part, I actually go in with like a very dense brush like this because it fits right into the hollows of my cheeks. And it's easier for me to diffuse it with this brush. You can use any type of brush you want, but this is one of the Sephora Pro brushes, the number 49 brush. Another brush I love is the Morphe Y3. This gets right into those cheekbones too. But today I'm gonna go in with this one. When you want to contour, obviously you're gonna go like this. Everyone knows that look, so you know right where the hollows of your cheeks are. All this. Don't bring it all the way down because it's gonna bring your face down. With the bronzer, you can really go a little crazier with it. It'll sculpt you, it'll make you look like you're bronze. But if you contour all the way down here, it'll sag your face down. I would suggest trying to keep it around the edge of your brow instead of where your eye is, where your brow is, and then just diffusing it, and it can blend out a little bit more, but don't try to harshly bring it down here and then blend it near your mouth because it's not gonna look good. I just kind of stamp it into place and then I blend it out. Ooh, I am contoured to the gods right now. And I'm gonna go in with my powder brush and blend it out. But do you see I actually brought it in a little bit too much? I'll clean that up in a little bit. And I'm just gonna go in with my powder brush I used earlier just to really diffuse it if I think it's a little too harsh. From here, I'm gonna take a little bit of the cooler shade just to match the tones all over my face. And then I am gonna do what I did to my jawline one more time. I'm gonna get a little bit of the contour shade again and run it under my mouth. It makes your lips look a little plumper because it has that shadow underneath. And I'm gonna contour right around here because it really helps bring that nose in a little bit more. And you want to make sure when you're doing this, do you see how you can't see right where the contour is, but you can see it in front? You really need to make sure you're diffusing that because if not, you're gonna look to the side and you're gonna see a streak of bronzer. When you apply blush, after you've contoured and highlight, and obviously contouring right now didn't take me a very long time. I know my face shape very well. You can practice different techniques, but this is what works for me. It really gives me that sculpted look, but blush can really make or break your contour. What I usually do is I get a brush and I just kind of follow the edges. I try to diffuse it out a little bit to really make sure everything's blended in. If you have a rounder face or in general for blush application, a lot of people say smile or like this. It'll make your round cheeks look even rounder. If you don't have round cheeks, it'll make you look like you have round cheeks, and it'll really drag down the contour into the middle, and it won't really make sense, and it'll look kind of muddy because you're trying to snatch your face. You're trying to bring up your face. You're trying to look very sculpted, very Bella Hadid, whatever kind of look you're going for. But if you go in with blush down here, the whole point was to bring it up, but this is gonna bring your face down a little bit, and it doesn't really make sense. So when I apply blush, I kind of use it to contour. It's called shading, and you can use any type of blush as long as you master the application of it. So this is a brush with nothing on it, but this is typically the brush I use. I use a Real Techniques blush brush to apply my brush, but I'm gonna use this with nothing on it to show you where I would apply it. So I will not apply here. You see this? No. I start from back here and I kind of apply it right on top of my contour, like that. And it'll really help elevate my face, give it some color, and even where you apply your highlight can kind of make or break your look. So I'm gonna show you guys the type of blushes I use. I really like deeper blushes for contouring, but I also kind of like a good nude. So this is the Tarte blush in Sensual. So for this blush, I'll just kind of tap off the excess. And because it's kind of a good nude, it's a good base to put right where your contour is. And I will try and bring it in a little bit, but do you see how I'm mostly concentrating back here? And look, I got the color to my face. It's still elevating my face. If I were to bring it too in, my face would look too muddy, too close together. But do you see how this side kind of just already looks more elevated than this side? It's kind of layering them all together like a Neapolitan pretty much. I hope the lights aren't blowing it out too much and making me look like a crazy person, because in real life it looks really nice, very bronzy. And I do like to just run over my sponge that I was using, and I just kind of blend it over, make sure everything's really blended. And now to clean up down here, it doesn't look too bad, but I'm gonna do it for the sake of the video. I'm going to just highlight a little bit right here to really help that bronzer pop. So I'm gonna go back in with that shade earlier from the Smashbox Cali Contour Palette and just press it. And I kind of swoop it up. So I go like the Nike check mark. I go down here and then up to make sure that if I'm blended too close to my mouth, it kind of balances it out. But now we're gonna go into highlight. So when I highlight my face, you don't want to bring your highlight down here, but you also want to have a really good blended highlight. So I'll go in with the back of my beauty blender and I'll kind of squish it so it's concentrated in one area. And I like to highlight from the outer corner of my eye right here to down where the edge of my eye is, and I kind of blend it out. So I'll go like this. And the reason I like to go towards the edge of my eye is to really make it look like I'm sun-kissed, like I'm glowing. If you only have the stripe going down here, it won't really make sense. It's kind of like, well, why is it just catching the tops of her cheekbones? If you bring it up towards your eye and near your eyebrow, it'll make it look like it's a natural glow. And I've heard other YouTubers say this too, so it's not just me that does this. If you haven't tried bringing in your highlight to the end of your eye right here, you really need to try it because it's really good, I promise. You can just leave it like this, but I prefer to set my highlight. This is supposed to be like a really good going out look, so I'm really gonna go for setting and looking dramatic. So I'm gonna get my Anastasia brush. And I like this brush because it really diffuses the product and doesn't pick up too much. And I do bring down my highlight, but do you see where I stop? Even with contour and highlighting, your brows can make a super big difference. I don't really do too much to my eyebrows. I just define them a little bit. Now I'm gonna do the lips actually before I do my eyes because I feel like I look a little bit like a ghost. And I would actually, to get that really contoured look, I would say going for it with the lips too. So I'm gonna demonstrate that today also. Alright guys, so we're almost done with the look. To set your face for your contour and highlight to last all day, because you know, you don't want to have this part of your contour missing, you want to spray your face with some setting spray. I love the Milani Make It Last setting spray. It's one of the setting sprays that I actually do think does something besides the Urban Decay one, but this one's a lot more affordable and it's one of my favorites. I just spray my face and I use my fan to set it. Alright you guys, so this is actually it for today's video. Pretty much the gist of it was don't go too light, really take your time, you know, bronze and go in with that contour, you know. Make sure you're careful about where you're applying your highlight, how you do your eye makeup. And I really actually like how the lip came out today. I was testing out something new with the lips today. I haven't really tried out this combo before, but I love how it looks. It makes the look so much more intense. I love how smoky the eyes look, how arched my brows are, you know, how the highlight hits. You see that? All of that. It really looks blended, it looks natural, it doesn't look like you spent forever trying to contour your face. But just remember, you know, try and keep your guidelines of where you guys are trying to blend everything in. Applying your blush properly really helps sculpt your face. A lot of people don't know about applying blush this way, and I thought it was really important that I share this with everyone. This was years of me trying to figure out what's flattering for my face shape, what I should be doing, and I'm really happy with it. I really love how this looks, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any recommendations or requests for kind of videos that you guys would want to see, don't forget to hit me up. I am a smaller YouTuber, so I can do anything you guys want. I just hope you guys liked today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!